All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about something pretty amazing. A story about how a single, simple shift in how you see the world, a lesson from a really unique thinker, can turn total burnout into a genuine breakthrough. So, let me ask you this. You ever feel like you've done everything right? You went to the right school, got the good job, you're making the money, but you still feel empty. It's this weirdly common feeling, right? Like something really important is missing, even when everything on the outside looks perfect. Well, that's exactly where a guy named Ryo Takashima found himself. This guy was a school prodigy. He checked all the boxes, graduated from the incredible Tokyo University, and landed a plum job at a huge corporation. He was on the absolute fast track to what everyone would call a successful life. But on the inside, it was a totally different story. He started getting what he called Sazai-san blue, that sinking feeling you get on a Sunday night when you realize the weekend's over and you have to do it all over again tomorrow. His perfect life honestly started to feel more like a cage. And that feeling of being trapped by your own success? Well, that's our first stop. Let's talk about this paradox, the successful, unhappy man. See, Takashima's entire world revolved around hitting sales targets, crushing the competition, and just climbing that corporate ladder. But all those numbers and that constant fighting, it felt so hollow. He was great at it, sure, but it didn't bring him any joy. He just felt totally disconnected, like he was watching someone else live his life. And it was right there, in that pit of searching for an answer, that he had this chance meeting that would literally change everything. Which brings us to our next part. A huge lesson delivered on a simple paper napkin. So picture this. It's 1996. Takashima finds himself sitting across from this quiet, almost mysterious thinker named Kobayashi Seikan. And they're not in some fancy office or lecture hall. Nope. They're in a regular old family restaurant. Seikan, he wasn't your typical philosopher. He was something else entirely. And without even a hello, Seikan grabs a paper napkin and writes down this kind of crazy phrase, "The future is determined." Just imagine that, out of nowhere. Takashima was totally confused. What on earth could that even mean? So to show him what he meant, Seikan does something pretty wild. He writes down the names of Japan's 2 imperial princesses at the time. Then he shows Takashima how, if you read the letters in this kind of zigzag way, each princess's name is actually hidden inside the other ones. The point was mind-blowing. Their destiny to become sisters-in-law was apparently woven right into their names from the day they were born. All of this on a napkin. But that bizarre little intro, that was just the warm-up act for Seikan's main philosophy, which brings us right to section 3, the myth of happiness. Seikan then says the sentence that would completely flip Takashima's world upside down. He says, "Happiness and unhappiness don't exist. There is only the mind that thinks so." Just let that sit for a second. Everything we chase after to be happy and everything we run away from to avoid being unhappy, what if none of it is actually real? So here's the absolute core of it. Seneca believed that everything that happens to you, every single event, is neutral. It's just a blank slate. It's our own mind, our own perspective that comes along and paints that event with the colors of good or bad, lucky or unlucky. Here's a perfect example. An innkeeper was complaining to Seikan about his guests. They were staying too long after dinner, and it was a real hassle for cleanup. Seikan just offered a simple reframe. He said, "They're not staying to annoy you. They're staying because the food was amazing and the atmosphere was wonderful." And boom, just like that, the thing that was annoying him became a source of pride. The situation didn't change at all, but the meaning, it changed completely. Okay, so getting the idea is one thing, but actually living it, that's the hard part. Luckily, Seikan had a super clear step-by-step method for it. So let's look at that in section 4, the 3 stages of practice. First, you gotta understand this key metaphor he used. Seikan talked a lot about makibishi. These are basically sharp, spiky things, caltrops, that ninja use to throw on the ground to stop anyone chasing them. Just keep that image locked in your head for a sec. Because what he said was every single time we complain or worry or criticize someone, we are basically scattering those sharp makibishi all over the path behind us. And good fortune, which he imagined as this goddess trying to follow us, well, she can't get to us. She keeps stepping on our spikes. What a powerful way to think about how we sabotage ourselves with negativity. So here's the practice. It's 3 stages. Step 1 is just stop. Stop throwing the makibishi. That means no more complaining, no more worrying, no more criticizing. Step 2 is you have to actively reframe things. See every single event through what he called the Utashi lens. Find something happy, fun, or fortunate in it. And finally, step 3, you build a habit of gratitude. For everything, good, bad, whatever. You just say, thank you. Now, this might sound a little too simple, but Takashima ended up putting it to the ultimate test when he was in a major crisis. And that brings us to Section 5, the Christmas Miracle. So fast forward to 1997, Takashima's now running this small company, and it is failing hard. The pressure was unbelievable, they were running out of money, and he was right back to his old habits, complaining all the time. He was just scattering those makibishi everywhere, and things were just getting worse and worse. He was totally desperate. But then he remembered Seikan's lesson. So in the fall of 97, he made a decision. He was going to stop complaining no matter what. He was going to clear his path. He practiced those precepts like his life depended on it, even as his company was about to go under. And then, on December 24th, literally days away from total financial collapse, something that felt like a straight-up miracle happened. An unexpected payment came through, just enough to save the company. That experience for Takashima was the ultimate proof. He didn't change his situation by working harder or forcing it. He changed his reality by changing his perspective. Which brings us to our final and most important section, your perspective, your reality. Seikan basically said there are 2 ways to live your life. You can be the correct person, the person who's obsessed with rules, with what's right and wrong, with how things should be. And that path, it's just full of stress and struggle. Or you can be the fun person, the one who just embraces what is happening, finds the joy in it, and creates a life of ease. So in the end, this isn't about being right. It's about making a choice. Do you want to spend your life fighting and struggling just to prove that you're correct? Or do you want to live a life of joy by choosing to see the good, the fun, and the fortunate in whatever life throws at you? And that's what I want to leave you with. Take a look at your own life. What's one thing, just one, that right now you're calling bad or unfortunate? How could you see it differently? What if that problem was actually a secret source of pride? The answer to that question? Well, it just might change your reality.